welcome to another adventure in really scary family theater. Tonight, I know you're really going to enjoy what I have in store for you. We're going to be dealing with something really scary. Job search. Pretty scary stuff, Children of the night, you know, it is true that you have to know somebody in order to get a job. But the odds are good that you already know the person who will give you the job lead that you need, or can get to know them easily enough. According to the people at GIST, 40% of all job seekers find their jobs through a lead provided by a friend, an acquaintance, or, my personal favorite, a blood relative. This makes networking the most important technique of all for your job search. Developing new contacts is what networking is all about. In the film Vault, here at GIST TV, we've got some really scary film clips to show how networking can work for you.
Hello, I'm making a list of names of those people I know.
See.
Are you Sam Smith?
Why, no, I'm Miss Jones.
Tip number 1. Develop a list of anyone you are friendly with. Then a separate list for all your relatives. These 2 lists alone often add up to 25 to 100 people or more. Then think of other groups of people with whom you have something in common. For example, people you used to go to school with, or graduated from the same school with. People you have worked with, professional contacts, neighbors, people in social or sports groups you belong to, people of your religious group and any other group you have something in common with. You may not know all of these people personally, but most will help you if you ask them. Some of these groups can be quite large and can provide hundreds or even thousands of potential contacts. Scared yet?
I'm contacting these people in a systematic way. Now sit in this chair and review the list, but be careful it makes a funny noise when you sit down.
Tip number 2. Each of the people on your list is a contact for you. Obviously, some lists and some people on those lists will be more helpful than others, but almost any one of them could help you find a job lead. Tip number 3. Start with your friends and relatives. Call them up and tell them you are looking for a job and need their help. Be as clear as possible about what you are looking for and what skills and qualifications you have to do it.
Gee, Ma, could you ask your friends in your bridge club if they know of any job openings?
Certainly, darling, I'll ask. Tomorrow we're working on London Bridge. Yes, I'll ask.
Tip number 4. It is possible that they will know of a job opening just right for you. If so, get the details and get right on it. More likely, however, they will not. So here are the 3 magic questions you should ask. GIST's 3 magic questions. Do you know of any opening for a person with my skills? If no, then ask, do you know of someone else who might know of such an opening? If yes, get that name and ask for another one. If no, then ask, do you know of anyone who might know of someone else who might? Another way to ask this is, do you know someone who knows lots of people? If all else fails, this will usually get you a name.
Hi, fellas. Remember Jimmy Swerdley?
Hi, Jimmy. I own a soda shop, and I'm looking for a couple good jerks like you guys.
Tip number 5. Contact these referrals and ask them the same 3 magic questions. For each original contact, you can extend your network of acquaintances by hundreds of people. It will look like the following chart. Eventually, one of these people will hire you or refer you to someone who will. It's really scary and it takes more courage, but contacting an employer directly is a very effective job search technique. There are a number of ways to do this. Let me show you the methods most often used.
Mr. Jones, there's another job applicant in the lobby for you.
Geez, not another one. I'm sorry, I don't have any openings. I told you once. I told you twice. 3 times. I don't... Hey, all I'm looking for is a job, see? Just a job, that's all. You understand, don't you? Just a job, a friendly job, that's all. You understand? Here's my resume. I don't have any job openings. Not today, not tomorrow.
Gee, talk about your tough job interviews.
Hardly anyone gets hired by someone in the personnel department. Their job is to screen you and refer the best applicants, which usually means someone with more experience than you. You may need to cooperate with personnel, but it is often better to go directly to the person who is most likely to supervise you, even if there is no opening just now. And remember that most organizations don't even have a personnel office, only the larger ones. Which reminds me, small businesses and organizations are often where your best chances lie. About 2/3 of all people work for small businesses, and they are responsible for as many as 80% of the new jobs being created. The odds are good that you will work in one of these organizations, and you should definitely target them during your job search. There are many opportunities to obtain training and advance in smaller organizations. Many do not even have a personnel department, so non-traditional job search techniques are particularly effective with them. Here's another job search technique from GIST that is often overlooked. Using the telephone to contact employers directly and let your fingers do the walking. Use the yellow pages to identify the types of organizations that could use a person with your skills, or identify the ones that just sound interesting. Call the organization and ask to speak to the person who is most likely to hire you. For example, let's say that you were interested in selling and or were familiar with photography. Here are some of the places that you might find to contact. Then you could turn to those sections and call the places that seemed most likely. Like this.
Good morning, Phil's Photo. Can I help you?
Can I please speak to the manager?
Yes, this is Mr. Lawrence Nightingale, the manager. Can I help you?
Hello, my name is Teresa Ford. I'm interested in a sales position in the photographic industry. I have 6 years of experience with various types of cameras and have taken a variety of courses of photographic composition, darkroom procedures, and business management. In a previous position, I increased sales in a photographic supply business by 23% and was consistently among the top sales performers in my group. I get along well with others, am hardworking, present a good appearance, and am willing to work nights and weekends. When can I come in for an interview?
Think about it. If you were an employer, would you be willing to talk to a person who presented themselves in this way? Many would, even if they don't have an opening now. Let's see how this works.
Gee, I don't have any openings right now.
That's okay. I'd still like to come in and talk to you about the possibility of future openings.
How about tomorrow?
Would 4 o'clock be a good time for you?
Make it 4:15.
Great, Mr. Nightingale. I'll see you then.
Of course, it may not always be that easy, but people who use GIST telephone techniques have found that it only takes about 10 to 15 calls to get an interview. That can take just an hour or so of calling and can get you into places to talk to interesting people. And if they like you, you will probably get the job offer long before an opening will ever be advertised. Often enough, an employer will create a position for a person they like, such as you, even though they didn't have a job opening. Well, that's it for this week's Really Scary Family Theater on Job Search. Join us again next week when we'll look at some more really scary family theater.